Dad means love, mateship, work ethic, family. Could go on. It means an awful lot to me. It means an awful lot to me. A very special person in my life.
Great.
He means a lot to me. He's my grandfather. I love him, and he's just always there for me and everything. And like, he's my grandfather, and he's just really good.
It's not an easy thing to put into words in 20 seconds. He's, you know, I'm so proud of him. I'm so honoured to have had a dad like him, who has been so giving to this family. I love him very, very much. He's always been just in my life, so he just means the world to me. He is a great role model, and Dad, I don't know what to say, I just love you.
Poppy's my grandfather, he's my mentor. I love him. He's nice, he's funny,
Yeah.
good personality,
Great.
nice attitude. He's my grandfather.
Well, Frank's my husband of 52 years. We've done everything together, including starting a business together. He was a golfer not long after I met him. In fact, when we were in our first business, he started playing golf. And I knew that if I wanted to be with him, I needed to learn to play golf too, so I did, and now we're both avid golfers. We share a lot together, lots of food, eating, obviously friends, holidays. It's been a bit of an exciting ride. He's been involved with car racing. We love each other. We've reared the children harmoniously most of the time, not always. And we're proud of our children. We're both proud of our children. That's the life we lead.
Yep.
Poppy is just always there for you, and he's such a fountain of information. He's always spewing random facts, well, not random, but they're always related to everything that you're doing. And if you ask him something, he's always going to tell you everything about it, and he's just always there, and he's always encouraging with everything you do, and he's just always there for you in general.
Great.
Pop is the best grandpa you could ever ask for. He's very wise and funny, and to me, I think he's a great role model to have in your life.
Great.
He's my father-in-law, and he's my unique part of life. It was only the other day I was talking at work, someone was saying, oh, why are you going to Italy? And I was explaining about the history of the Crop family, and I guess it makes life a little bit more interesting, so I appreciate the fact that he makes life more interesting for me.
Great.
I think Poppy means to me integrity. I think he's a man of extreme integrity and self-worth, and he's definitely been a massive inspiration for me, and really has helped me pursue my interest in art. So that's what he means to me.
Great.
It means a lot, but I think first and foremost, good inheritance. Being the eldest grandchild, after all. More?
Yeah.
Pop, you know, he's a book of knowledge. Who needs Google when you've got Pop?
He's always there for you, and just like really loving, and I remember every time we would see him, give a really good hug and a pat on the back and a pat on the back and stuff like that.
He means everything to me. He's the rock of our family, I believe. He's the one person who can shut everyone else down and bring sense into the family. And I'm incredibly lucky to have someone like Dad as my dad. I couldn't imagine life without him, and I thank the lucky stars every day that he's my father.
Frank, you mean love to me. You've created a beautiful son, hence he's my husband. You're my father-in-law, like a dad, so you mean love to me.
Righty. Well, what do you say? He's Nicky's old man. He's got a lot to answer for.
He's my dad. He's an inspiration. He's a role model. What else can I do? And he's good fun to be around.
Yeah?
He's level-headed. He keeps everyone grounded. He keeps everybody relaxed. He keeps everybody amused. He keeps everybody happy. I think his greatest attribute is his personality.
I think his wisdom, and he's passionate. He's a very passionate man, and I think that's something that's important, and you can see that that's been passed down through the ages. And his cheeky sense of humour as well. I think that's important part of him that has been a gift to all of us.
Great.
But I think definitely his wisdom, he passes that on to all of us, his wise words.
Without Pop, we wouldn't be here, so yeah, and probably half of this history and stuff, like half of my knowledge would probably be from Poppy and just explaining on the dinner table and stuff like that.
Okay.
Dad's greatest gift to the family, I think, is his undivided devotion to Mum, to me, to Anthony, David, Peter, and our families, our grandchildren and our spouses. He has set that example through his devotion to Mum, and I think that is just such a role that the rest of us have used for our own lives and marriages. And for me, I just think that's his devotion and his compassion and his loyalty are attributes that I like to think that I will live my life that way.
Your greatest gift to the family, Frank, is your respect for each and every one of us, your support, and just who you are.
Probably just being himself. He's just really out there, and he's like really nice, and we all love him very much, and that's probably the greatest gift he could give us.
Pop's greatest gift, I'd say it's his temperament. He's, he sort of sets the example for us in terms of drink driving. He's a great example. He's taught me a lot about red wine. But his greatest gift is, just his general aura, I suppose.
Probably just being here. He's given us, my father, Uncle Pete, you, Anthony, Nikki, which has produced my cousins and me, and it's pretty much our family.
Great.
We're all together.
I think his greatest gift is his sense of humour. He definitely, even if he doesn't quite realise he's being very funny, And his love and support. He's definitely a very caring person, and obviously having 4 beautiful children and all these beautiful grandchildren is also a massive gift.
I think his greatest gift was having the guts to come to Australia and actually starting a new life, because if he hadn't, there would not be David, Anthony, Nikki, Peter, Helen, all of us, and then the saga continues.
I think one of the greatest things about my relationship with Dad that answers the question is that I was very lucky to work with him for 20 years. So his work ethic is fantastic. Through the time that I spent with him, it taught me an awful lot. Taught me how to achieve things, how to have a go at life, and I think he's brought that to our family. I think it's very important.
It's got to be, he's the leader, he's the boss, he's the general.
Probably his heritage. He's Italian through and through, even though he's really enjoys being an Australian more than he enjoys being Italian. And it comes through with his personality. He gets very excited, which is very Italian. But his family are all very beautiful people, lovely people. And his knowledge of his family, his knowledge of Italy, his knowledge of history that he's imparted to all of us and his children has been really worthwhile. And it's given us a new lease on life. We were just little Aussies that didn't know anything about the rest of the world when Frank came to this country. And now we know so much more, and so does most of Australians because of immigration. Not that he migrated, he didn't migrate. He came out here and paid for his own fare to check it out to see whether or not this was a worthwhile place to live for the rest of his life. And so he decided it was. His heritage is the greatest gift to our family.
His knowledge, I think. He is a walking history book. He knows everything. He's very passionate about what he says. I think he's taught us all a lot, especially about patience. Yes, especially about patience.
I think his greatest gift to our family is his sense of fairness. He will not hear of anything which disadvantages any other member of the family in any way. It's something that I think is so amazing, that he will not favour one over the other. Everyone's equal, and it leads to such an even playing field across all the family, which I think is an incredible base to build a strong family on, and I think that's his greatest gift to us.
He's always talked about history, especially in history. And you talk to him about something, and you can talk for hours and hours on end and not get bored. And he always knows all the facts, and he's always up to date with everything. And yeah, his knowledge definitely.
Well, would be when I first met him. At that time, I had a second job in a movie theatre as an usherette, and it didn't finish because the movies didn't finish till 11:30 or midnight. And it was pretty dangerous getting home on the bus by yourself. I had a boyfriend who used to come and pick me up from the theatre. It was a platonic friendship, actually, this one. He'd pick me up from the theatre and took me home on the bus, and on the way to the bus we called in for coffee, and sitting in the coffee shop was Frank and 2 other guys that were all members of the Manly Warringah Sporting Car Clubs. They all had these great jazzy looking sports cars. Austin Healey's Jaguar XK120, and Frank had an MGTF sports car, red. And he's sitting in the coffee shop looking gorgeous with his black hair and his white, magnificently knitted, thick, heavy jumper because it's winter. He had then eventually, after we met and he asked me out, we went out together for a while. We used to go to various sporting car club situations. One in particular I want to tell you about was when we were doing a gymkhana, and you'd have to slalom through all these 44-gallon drums and throw flags in or pick flags out, and the fastest doing it would be the winner. And we'd all be doing this in open cars with no safety, no helmets, nothing. It was terribly, terribly dangerous. And on open fields, and he'd only just taught me to drive at that stage, and so I decided I wanted to drive just through the field. I'm just going very slowly along. He wanted me to drive, he was happy about that. And I went over a piece of metal, and this piece of metal came up through the tyre, back through the tyre, and came right up in and pierced and came out through the mudguard of his beautiful new MGT. He never said a word. He was so accepting, never judgmental about anything. Through his whole life, he has never really got annoyed about anything that was totally somebody else's fault, not his, and he just accepts things the way they are. A very non-judgmental trait in him that I love. It's just fabulous.
Going to lunch at, what's the place called? La Rustica. And we got the little potato chips that they made. And I remember one time, well, the only time that I remember, but I had like a lemonade or something, and after every sip I go, and he just pointed it out and was like, why are you making so much noise? And yeah, that's definitely my earliest memory.
My earliest memory of Pop, I remember going to their old house and swimming in the pool, all us kids constantly saying that we have pins and needles, Pringles all through our skin, and it hurt so much, and Pop never believed us. So hopefully he now does.
Driving me to school at Loretto in the morning, he would get incredibly frustrated with the other drivers on the road and call them silly moos and get that Jap crap off the road and all of that stuff, and that's definitely my earliest memory of that.
My earliest memories from Pop is always that once every, I don't even know, but we would always go to a movie or lunch or something like that, and I remember Poppy was about to order like a really fancy lunch with like smoked salmon and prosciutto and everything like that, and on a sandwich, and then we would like Zoe and Lucas and everyone would want sushi or something like that, just as simple.
I remember on our going on our trip to Italy and going to the local coffee shops and having those amazing hot chocolates and croissants with him, and walking through the marble quarries and all those adventures. And I remember we were at the toll booths going somewhere, and he went to pay for something, and the window was still up.
Well, it's probably not my earliest memory, but probably the thing that sticks in my mind about Frank was at our wedding, and he was making a speech, and he spoke for quite a long time about lots of things. It was his birthday, it was okay. And he said something in Italian, which was the parting grace for this speech, and no one knew what it meant, and apparently it meant, may they have many sons. Well, unfortunately we had one son, one daughter, so it didn't work.
Funnily enough, they're all a bit odd. They can be a bit bloody and negative. One of my earliest memories is of David being on the bike with Dad in Italy, and he's getting his leg all mangled up. And of course that was Dad's fault. Going around in 1969 in the little cars, going around the park, and Dad telling us how to drive. I was, 8 years old. Anthony was 7 years old, and of course we all thought we were fabulous. early memories are hard. So many of those memories I think maybe I have from photographs, I'm not sure. But all happy memories, but there's a few odd ones thrown in. I used to find it was, I hated Dad lecturing us on the way to school, but I think in retrospect they've been very positive in the end, some of those talks that we got.
I remember packing sailing boats on the back of VW combis to go to sailing trips. I can remember most people would put it on the roof rack, but no, he had to improvise and make a rack on the back of a combi so that the Mammy Juniors stood up 5 feet taller. So when you drove at 60 kilometres an hour, the boat's getting pushed off the back of the combi. That was a great memory. The go-karts that he promised to make for us. That we all were so looking forward to these go-karts. Nikki and I and Dave were going to get go-karts, and I was so looking forward to it. I'm still waiting. one day the go-kart might turn up.
Well, that's really hard. Probably him telling me to practice my scales.
I don't know if it's my earliest memory, but it's definitely something that sticks out in my mind is Chelsea and I listening to him start telling a joke and him telling us that we were far too young and it was too inappropriate for us. So we begged him to tell us a joke, and he said, no, on your 18th birthday I'll tell you. So every year we asked him and he said, no, when you turn 18, and then finally my 18th birthday came around and he completely forgot. So that was probably one memory, and another I'll always remember is he was Matthew's soccer coach when he was about 5 years old, and they were in the Dories, and I'll never forget Matthew scoring a goal for the other team and Poppy just on the sidelines going crazy, screaming at these poor little 5-year-old kids. It's really funny.
Okay. Well, I've got lots of memories of Pop, but I suppose one that sticks out the most is I remember driving in Fort Edamame with him. I think Nam was in the car and maybe a few other people were in the car. I think Dad was in there as well. And Pop thought he was the champion of Fort Edamame, you know, being the hometown. And anyway, Pop was, you know, I know how to drive in Italy. I'm Frank Crott. Except he was driving on the wrong side of the road and took out a couple of side mirrors, etc., really, and gave the rest of us a good laugh. Okay.
Probably the Blue Mountains. I remember his birthday.
Yeah?
I remember the caves, the lodge of the big houses. First memory.
Okay.
First memory.
Earliest memory. My memory's not that good, but I think my earliest memory of Dad would be probably my soccer coach. Coaching the Seaforth under whatevers we were, and we had great success, so it was good fun times being there, and also caddying for him when I was when he was playing golf at Manly, and I'd probably caddy for him. Even on Saturday morning I'd caddy for him if I was, and it was good fun doing that.
Cool. I think my fondest memory of you, Frank, is the first time I went out with you, Helen, and it was a dinner out, and it was the first time that Helen actually met me. And the way I was speaking was with my hands. And what do? But knock the wine over. And the memory was that you just made me feel so relaxed and comfortable and made it all okay.
Great.
Well, that's a really good one because Trotty's the only guy I know that's ever crashed a Ferrari. And Frank's sort of taking some chick for a spin around the block and then putting it through one of his neighbours' front fence. Good on you, Frank.
Hello, I'm Giuseppe. I got something special for you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nikki, you're pointing too high. I've grown up with that for a long time.
My favourite Frankism is probably, he's got so many, but probably when he's just before he starts telling you his massive amount of knowledge on a particular subject, and he's probably at the dinner table and he gets his piece of paper or his napkin and he just starts, you know, sort of drawing out like his explanations. Yeah, it's pretty poppy.
Well, there's too many. Helen, don't piss me off. You're giving me the sheets. Nikki, you're pointing too high. What else is there? His accent has been entertaining.
It's true.
He's a skippy with an Italian influence.
I think Pop, you might like. To me, Pop's biggest one is probably your bloody mug, you know.
My favourite Frankism is when you're talking to him about whatever it is, and you go, basically, whatever it is, like the history and everything, but basically.
There's a few that my dad's told, but
Go on.
I've remembered them all.
Say them.
They're all pretty good.
Go on, say one.
Peace and quiet.
Well, I'd never heard my father swear until I started working with him. So there's a lot of Frankisms at work that shouldn't be mentioned. But he could always, one of the funniest things about Dad was when he couldn't remember somebody's name, it was Duvalak. Duvalak, you remember Duvalak? You know Duvalak from the golf club. You know Duvalak, we sold him a car, he's here now. Remember, what's his name? Duvalak. So many Duvalaks everywhere. And when we were talking about money, it was always grands. Never 1,000, never $1, it was always grands. Yeah, okay. Classic.
He can't say two E's together. Sheep comes out ship, and you're driving along in the countryside and he'd say, oh, look at all the ships. And you could, no water anywhere. Nikki, you're pointing too high. I mean, he's never going to live that down, poor thing. Of course, that's a sailing term. For anybody there that doesn't know, you shouldn't be pointing too high when you're sailing.
My favourite Frankism. You have so many Frankisms, Frank. I think there's a lot of favourite things about the way you say things is because it reminds me so much of me being not born in this country, English being my second language, and your second language, that you say so many things back to front, and I say things back to front that when Helen puts you up, I go, no, I understand what you mean and what he means, it's okay. So I suppose your Frankism is putting things back to front, the words back to front, just like me. Peace and quiet.
Mate, can I loan you a couple of grands? And I hate tomato sandwiches.
Probably Silly Moo. That's the thing that I remember the most.
Whenever I see Poppy, before he gives a really big hug, he always shakes your hand so hard. And I remember one time that I seriously felt like I broke my hand when he squeezed it that hard, but it ended up not being broken.
Definitely, I'll never forget it, when I was a kid. He would always do this to my head every time I saw him, and I think as I grew, it got worse and worse. When I was really little, it would be so easy for him to get really into it, and then I got older and older, and I think it was only a few years ago that he stopped doing it because it started to get really annoying. But yeah, that's my favourite Frankism.
I want to say thank you. My life would not be anywhere near as good as it is without Dad. I know that my brothers and my sister and their families wouldn't have his life as amazing as they are without Dad. And I know that my mum is a very, very happy woman because of my dad.
Very lucky, isn't she?
Yeah, she's very lucky. I want to wish him incredible health, happiness, and I want to, as I said, thank him for everything that he's done, and that I love you very much, Dad, and happy 80th birthday.
Thank you, Frank, for having the guts to come to Australia and start a new life. Very admirable. I don't know whether I could have done something like that when I was your age. And happy birthday. Thank you for being part of our lives.
I'd just like to thank Poppy for being who he is, for being such a great influence on myself and always encouraging me to play French horn, saxophone, all music, all aspects of life, and through all of his knowledge that he imparts on us. Happy birthday.
I hope you have an amazing day. You've earned it. Put up with the family for a long time. I hope you get spoiled. Have a great day, Pop.
Happy birthday, Poppy. You're one of the greatest people in my life. You're really good. You're really nice. Just wish you a happy birthday. And I'll see you.
Frank, have a great day, mate. You don't seem like you're 80. I reckon you're 70 and I reckon you're lying about your age.
You're simply the best!
So much for marrying Nanny and having all the kids and everything like that. And also thank you so much for encouraging me with the music as well. And just giving me different perspectives of life and stuff like that. And happy birthday.
I would like to say happy birthday, Pop, and congratulations on making it this far, and I think you should be really proud of yourself because you've achieved so much and created such a beautiful life for yourself and for all of us as well. So thank you.
Happy birthday, I love you so much, and I just hope you have a really fun day, and I just hope that you really enjoy everything, and I love you very much.
I'd like to tell you that I love you very much. You've been not just a dad, you've been a great mate to me as well. You've been a huge support through my whole life. Taught me a lot of things, some great things. Probably a few things that I shouldn't have learned along the way too, taught me, but you've been a beautiful, fantastic, loving, fun father, and I love you very much and wish you all the best on a special, special day. And I'd love to reach through and give you a big hug because you deserve it. Thanks, Dad.
Stay well. There's not too many 80-year-olds that are as well as you. You really are fit, and you've obviously got good genes coming from the Italian side of the family, and you're hopefully passing down to all your children because you don't seem to have much wrong with you. But I do wish you a long life and more good golf. You're playing really good golf with a man, dropping handicap. You wouldn't believe it. He's dropping his handicap by one almost every day. It's amazing. Enjoy your family, enjoy your parties with your brothers and sisters, your family, your children, your grandchildren, your wife. I'm sure it'll be a lovely time for you. And we'll all make sure that it will be. So happy birthday, darling. We love you.
And I love you. You're my dad. You are a great role model, and I look up to you. I think you're a fantastic human being. I cherish everything you've done for us. I think you've been a fantastic father, a fantastic grandfather, and just a good bloke. Most importantly, a good bloke. You want to ever have a chat, you're always there for us. And that's probably the most important thing. Oh, happy birthday, big fella.
Oh, Frank, I'd just like to tell you, wish you a very, very happy birthday. Thank you for your support, thank you for your love, thank you for your generosity, and thank you for bringing the family all together on this very special occasion. It's your birthday. Happy birthday.
I'd like to say happy birthday. Very proud that you've got all your limbs, that you've got all your organs, that you've got all your faculties, and that we are going to have this wonderful celebration all together in Italy. I think everyone's so excited about that. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing for us all, and I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful birthday.
I'd just like to say to Poppy, thank you so much for being such an inspiration and for coming to Australia. You know, it's an amazing country to live in, and if you weren't here, we wouldn't be here. I want to wish you a happy birthday, and yeah, hope it's fun and full of love and enjoyment, and yeah, love you.
Stop lying about your age, Pop. No. Happy birthday. Bit more. Thanks for getting us over to Italy. It's gonna obviously we've probably had a good week and a half by now. It's been a great time. Happy birthday. I hope you're around a lot longer.
Cool.
Fantastic.
I love you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Frank. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hooray!
Stolat, Frank. Stolat.
Salute! Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Pop! Which means 100 years. Oh, happy birthday!
Poppy, we love you. You're a legend.
Love you! Shadi loves you too.
Happy birthday, Dad. We love you.
Happy birthday, darling.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Happy birthday, Pop.